Hello everyone, Stevie here. Overnight, I wanted to track the amount of total cases in Italy and the UK, and I wanted to work out the average rise we are seeing in coronavirus each day. I wanted to compare Italy with the UK because, well, we'll get to that in a second. What we're going to do is we're going to look at this very quick PowerPoint I have created, so please, if there's any spelling mistakes, please ignore it. I am dyslexic. So as you can see, we're going to compare the amount of total coronavirus cases in Italy and the UK, but more specifically, we're going to look at the average rise in cases per day. So Italy, it is the closest COVID-19 hotspot to the UK. It has a population of around 60 million, which is quite similar to the UK, which has a population of 66 million. And Italy had an open border to UK and most of the world until pretty recently, which has allowed COVID-19 to spread a lot farther and faster than people would have liked. I looked at the slice of time, which covers the amount of total cases in Italy from the 11th of March to the 17th of March. So that's just 1 week. I wanted to see how the UK's count of total cases compared with Italy's. So I used the week where Italy started on 10k cases, as that's where the UK hit a few days ago. The UK's total cases is now at around 10. Well, it's around 11k now. So, well, we'll get to this in a second. In Italy, we took a slice of time from the 11th to the 17th of March. On this day, as we can see here, on the 11th, Italy was at 10590 cases, and on the 17th they were on 13506 cases. On this week, Italy's amounts of total cases rose by the following percentage. So it was like 21% on the 11th, 12th, on the 12th it was 16, and as you can see it's been going steadily downwards in Italy. On the 17th ended on 10%. So over this week, the week where Italy was around about 10,000 cases, their cases were rising on average about 15% per week. But as we can see, towards the end of it, it's starting to go down, and that is probably because of the lockdown measures. On the UK, we looked at the week between the 19th and the 25th. That is where we ended just before we were at 10,000. On this week, the UK's amount of total cases rose by the following percent. So as you can see, on the 19th we rose by 23%, and on the 25th we ended on 17%. This gave the UK an average of 19.4% per day. So in the UK at the moment, before the lockdown kicked in, our total cases of coronavirus are rising by 19.4% today. In comparison, Italy's cases were only rising by 15% today. So at the moment, the hope is that the UK lockdown starts to have an effect. I would imagine it starts to have an effect in the next few days. If it doesn't, then we're in quite a lot of trouble. At the moment, the UK has a higher infection rate and a higher amount of spread than Italy had during the peak of their epidemic. And this is fact. So the deaths, sadly, it took Italy 18 days to go from 1 death to 463 deaths. It took the UK 21 days to reach that same amount, which it could mean that we're looking after people longer. Who knows? Only time will tell what that number means. And finally, if trends continue with the UK, and if the lockdown doesn't slow down the amount of spread in the cases, we're looking at this sort of numbers. Now the 26th, when the number came out yesterday, I believe the official number was 11658, so we were at 11377. It was very close, so it really it was very close to the prediction. These are predicted using the 19.4% average per day raise, and as you can see, if we follow this model, we will breach 50,000 cases of coronavirus by the 4th of April. So the hope is that the whole lockdown thing has an effect sooner rather than later, or the UK could be in big trouble with coronavirus.